All right, welcome everyone. So today we're going to be talking about how to leverage and dominate your IP on Amazon. And this is for 2023, but I promise you, whatever we're discussing here will be effective and work for many years to come. In case you guys don't know, my name is Mario Simonian. I'm the founder and attorney here at Esco, where we help out Amazon third-party sellers, Walmart third-party sellers. So let's get started. Since we're talking about IP, I thought this quote was very relevant. The most common way people give up their power is by thinking they don't have any, right? And this comes up so many times. It's so relevant whenever we're talking to clients and they've built something, intellectual property, but they're not sure how to protect it. So they don't realize how much power or how much protection they can have with their invention or with their idea. So I thought this quote was pretty relevant. So again, let's talk about building an unfair advantage using IP. Again, this is geared towards Amazon third-party sellers, but anyone online can use it, and really anyone, any entrepreneur. So when we talk about IP, we're talking about three branches, right? We have trademarks, copyrights, and patents. How do you differentiate these three branches? Trademarks, anytime you hear about trademarks, automatically think about logos, slogans, or brand names, right? And automatically what should come to mind is Nike. Nike's swoosh sign, that logo, that would be considered a logo that's protected by trademark. Nike itself, that's protected by trademark. They have a word mark on it. And as far as their slogan is just do it, right? So trademarks protects all that. Anytime we're talking about an invention or sort of new way of doing something, think about patents. That's what patents are for. And then copyrights, think of art, anything artistic related, whether it's a photo you take, whether it's a play or music you write, lyrics, movie, book, all of that is protected by copyright. So that's a very easy and general way of helping you guys differentiate between trademarks, patents, and copyrights. So now that you guys got IP 101 under your belt, let's move on and talk about how to leverage it and really how to create new streams of income with your intellectual property. So a couple of things you guys can do with IP. I know a lot of Amazon sellers, they usually get a trademark because that's what's registered or that's what's required to enroll in Amazon brand registry. What they may or may not realize is all the additional benefits and privileges that go with it, such as one of the things you could do with your IP is licensing it. Think of this as collecting rent on it or collecting royalty. This is where you allow either one person or several people to go ahead and rent your IP. It could be your patent, which usually is the case, but it could also be trademarks or copyrights. Several of our clients have patents that they've licensed out. And when you're licensed to get out, they can pay you a lump sum for a period of time, or they can pay you per unit that they sell, or it could be a wide range of other terms, payment terms, whatever is negotiated between the licensor and licensee. So that's one way of using your IP. The second is assignment. This is where you outright sell it. There's several websites that are marketplaces for IP. A quick Google search will go ahead and help you find those. Otherwise, feel free to email us or give us a call and we could help you, or we could just tell you what those websites are. Third, which not a lot of people are aware of, but you could use your IP for collateral to get a loan, whether it's a personal loan or a business loan. You could use that as collateral. There are steps involved, and it's not as common as the other two methods discussed above, but that is still a possibility. So one of the things you would have to do before you even get a loan is get it valued, right? What's the valuation on the IP? That's usually done by a professional, but usually the lender or the bank will also want to do it themselves too. The fourth option is enforcing your IP against infringers. So you could always sue them and then force them to collect or force them to pay the royalty, right? So that's something else that we'll get into a little bit later on. But those are 4 ways that you could use your IP. Now let's talk about enforcing your IP. So clients will usually come to us and say, I've got a handful of infringers. They're infringing on my trademark or my copyright or my patent. What are the options? What could I do? And what sort of steps should I take? First of all, what you want to do is have an infringement analysis done, right? Usually for trademarks and copyrights, it's a lot more simple and can probably be done by the IP holder, such as yourself. If you have a trademark for, let's say, ESCO, and someone else is selling a very similar product with that same mark, with that same trademark, then you already know they're very likely infringing. Or if you have a copyright of your product photos that you took, and you know that someone else is using that same exact photo on another listing that this other infringer created and is now selling, then there's a very high chance that they're infringing on your copyright. But when it comes to patents, whether it's a design patent or a utility patent, it's not always very clear. Patents, as you guys may know, if you guys have watched our other videos, they're a little bit more complex than trademarks and copyrights. So with patents, you want to have a patent attorney do an infringement analysis to give you a determination on whether these other infringers are infringing on your product or your patent, okay? But once you've done the infringement analysis and you guys have determined that these other people are infringing, then usually what Amazon sellers will do is resort to filing an IP complaint on Amazon. It's a form that Amazon has. People will usually go ahead and do that. From there, they'll go ahead and escalate it by sending a cease and desist letter. What we usually suggest is having cease and desist letters come from the brand or you as the IP holder. And then from there, if we see that we're not getting any results, then you could seek the help of an attorney to have the attorney send the cease and desist letter to the infringer. I'm sure most of you guys would agree that when you receive a letter from an attorney, it usually carries a lot more weight than a letter coming from just a brand or an IP holder. Okay. And then last step is always obviously litigation. No one wants to go to litigation, but that's always an option, and that's usually a last resort. Now, with utility patents, these steps are a little bit different because Amazon does have what they now are calling Amazon Patent Evaluation Express, or APEX. So with APEX and utility patents, you wouldn't be sending cease and desist letters or filing the IP complaint. You would be filing an application to join APEX. Okay, and again, APEX used to be called what was it? Amazon's Neutral Utility Patent Program or something. They realized how ridiculous that was, so they just changed it to APEX. So thank God for that. All right, now when we talk about litigation, I also want to discuss a new service that we've launched earlier this year called IPX, and we'll get into that in the next slides. But these are the general steps that you would take to enforce your IP. All right, so final thoughts. Before we get into the final thoughts, let me actually just back up a little bit. So with IPX, let me just give you guys some background on IPX. We've had a lot of clients come to us and they say, you know what, I've got 25, 50, 75, 100, or a couple hundred infringers that are infringing on my IP, but I don't have the money to hire an attorney. And anytime we're talking about litigation, anytime we're talking about IP, that usually equals a lot of money. And when I say a lot of money, I'm talking about a couple $100,000. So most Amazon sellers may not have that within their budget. So what we came up with is a program where we would take IP cases, IP enforcement cases on contingency. Meaning what we would do is go ahead and file the lawsuit, and we would pay for all the expenses. You wouldn't pay anything out of your pocket. And whatever we collect, we would go ahead and split amongst the attorneys and obviously yourself. So that's why I mentioned that as another revenue stream. Okay. So if you do have more than 25 infringers spread across Amazon, eBay, Walmart, Etsy, Alibaba, AliExpress, then send us an email, and then we could discuss the case and see if that would be a good fit for our IPX service. Okay. And then again, final thoughts. This is something that I covered at the beginning of the presentation too. Amazon sellers, 99% of the ones that I've worked with, and I've been in this space for 10 plus years now, you guys are very creative and very intuitive, and you guys may be creating products and ideas, and you don't realize how important or how significant that is. So I really urge you guys, if you guys have something you guys have designed, a new product you guys have designed or modified, or something that's completely new, it's an invention, or it may even be a brand name, talk to an attorney, see how you can protect it. Because if you're not getting IP at the forefront at the beginning, then you're sort of betting against yourself, saying that, you know what, I'm starting a brand, I'm starting a business, but I'm not going to protect it with the trademark because I really don't believe that this brand is going to take off and be worth a couple million in the next 3 to 5 or 10 years, right? Because if you thought it was going to be successful, then you would protect it with the trademark, right? Same thing with copyrights. You guys are spending money on professional photographers getting photos done, product photos, protect it with a copyright. Same thing with patents, okay? So final thoughts is that please, consultations are free. Talk to an attorney, talk to a law firm. There's a lot of IP attorneys out there. Our law firm focuses specifically on Amazon sellers and e-commerce sellers. So we meet at that intersection of IP law and Amazon/Walmart. But talk to us or anyone else, just talk to someone, please, because you will be thanking yourself in the future. But get your ideas, get your brand names, get your photos, anything you guys create, get it protected, okay? And if you guys have any questions, feel free to visit our website, esqgo.com, that's esqgo.com. You could also call our office at 424-363-6233 or send us an email at intake@esqgo.com. All right, thank you.